This is the top 10 cards in a Magda Brazen Outlaw EDH deck. Magda Brazen Outlaw is a new card from Kaldheim that reads 1 red for a 2/1, legendary creature dwarf berserker. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0, and whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. Sacrifice 5 treasures. Search your library for an artifact or dragon card. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. If you do not know, treasures are artifact tokens that you can tap and sacrifice for 1 mana of any color. So we care about 2 main things: getting treasures and what we can search for with those treasures. This also means, by extension, we care about tapping dwarves, because with Magda, that will give us treasures. So before we start, please like and subscribe. Number 10, Dwarven Bloodboiler. Dwarven Bloodboiler is red, red, red for a 2/2 dwarf. Tap an untapped dwarf you control. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Not only can this pump your creatures, but the main utility of this is you can tap your dwarves whenever you want. This means that with Magda, we are going to be able to get treasures. Number 9. Lathliss Dragon Queen is 4 red red for 6/6. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And it says 1 red. Dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So early game, this is a great thing to search for with Magda. Then if you get other dragons, you will get another 5/5 red dragon along with it. Plus, when you have multiple dragons, being able to pump them all +1/+0 until end of turn can be incredibly powerful for just 2 mana. Number 8. Throne of the God Pharaoh is 2 for a legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. So you are going to be constantly tapping a lot of dwarves. Being able to convert this to damage to each opponent is amazing, and this will add up very quickly. Plus, in the right situation, you could tutor for it with Magda. Number 7. Dockside Extortionist. Dockside Extortionist is 1 red for a 1/2. When Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. Dockside Extortionist is an easy and powerful way to generate a lot of treasures, even if you don't have Magda out. It's also important to run a lot of treasure generators, so there's a link in the description to a Scryfall search that has a lot of them. Number 6, Blightsteel Colossus. Blightsteel Colossus is 12 mana for an 11/11 artifact creature golem, with trample, infect, and indestructible. If Blightsteel Colossus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Blightsteel Colossus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. You can one-hit someone with this. If someone has less than 1 toughness of blocker, this isn't going to be very common, but it is possible. But you will almost always be able to hit someone. Plus, it's difficult to kill because it has indestructible, and if it is killed and it goes to the graveyard, it will be shuffled back into the library, where you can just tutor it out again. It also has virtual haste, so you can tutor it up before your turn. Number 5, Meteor Golem. Meteor Golem is 7 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. If you have 5 treasures, you can use Magda's ability, and if this is in your library, you can tutor it out. This is instant speed, permanent destruction, and the only qualification is that you have 5 treasures, which can be incredibly easy to get in this deck. Number 4, 7 Dwarves. 7 Dwarves is 1 and a red for a 2/2. 7 Dwarves gets +1/+1 for each other creature named 7 Dwarves you control. A deck can have up to 7 cards named 7 Dwarves. So 7 Dwarves are important because, well, they have the dwarf creature type. They are cheap, and you can run 7 of them. There just are not very many good dwarves, and being able to have 7 iterations of 7 dwarves mean that you have to run a lot less unplayable dwarves. Plus, if you get multiple, then they will pump each other. So there will be a link in the description to a list of dwarves, so you can include a lot of those because that's a very important part of the deck. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, and join my Discord server. Number 3, Utvara Hellkite. Utvara Hellkite is 6 red for 6/6. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. This is an amazing win condition you can tutor for with Magda. This has virtual haste. You can get it on the end step before your turn, and then you will be able to attack during your turn. So it's going to be pretty easy to generate your own army with Utvara, especially if you get it early. And if you have other dragons, which you're incredibly likely to, you can generate that army even more quickly. Number 2, Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter is 2 for an artifact vehicle with flying, 3/3. Whenever Smuggler's Copter attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And it has crew 1. Tap any number of creatures you control with total power 1 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So if you think about this, you can tap any of your creatures at any point. This means you can get your dwarves to tap at any point, and you will be able to get treasures. Plus, you can use this and you can attack and draw and discard. And it's only 2 colorless mana. So this is the best crew card, but there are more in the link in the description, and the best ones are cheap and have low costs. You also have to keep in mind that they are printing more crew cards with call time, so there could be some incredibly good ones there. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Platinum Empyrean, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, Terror of Mount Valus, and Treasure Map. And before we get to number 1, please like, subscribe, and join my Discord server. Number 1, Goldspan Dragon. Goldspan Dragon is 3 red for a 4/4 with flying and haste. And it's a dragon, so you can tutor it out. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes the target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any one color. So you can tutor it out with mana because it's a dragon. Treasures become better, and it produces more treasure for you. What more could you want?
Made it to the end of this video, you probably enjoyed it, so please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and join my Discord server. Link in the description. There is also links in the description to whatever I talked about in this video, so it should all be there. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.